This is potentially sad. There's somebody's leash. There's not a dog attached to it. Well, today I had occasion to be in El Dorado Hills, which is east of Sacramento, on the way to Placerville. And I was going to go to one trail that I found out I couldn't get into because I need a high clearance vehicle to get over the berm to get into the parking, or else I had to pay $10 to park in a real parking place. So I had to find an alternate. So I found this little nature area that I thought we'd check out. It's behind, there's like people's houses right there. So it's not like it's way out in the middle of nowhere. And there's a road back there. So anyway, let's see what we can find out. This place is called New York Creek Nature Area, and it's in El Dorado Hills. So let's see what we can find out. Come on. Well, this is potentially sad. There's somebody's leash. I hope there's not a dog attached to it. Did it break? Looks like the clip broke. Not a good thing to have happen when you're on a walk. It's been there a while. I'll take it out of here because I can replace that hook. Hi, baby. See, it says 1.25 miles right there. So it must mean I'm like halfway around, maybe, possibly. Well, we just passed the 1.25 mile marker. So the thing that I saw that said it was 1.5 miles out and back probably isn't accurate. And it really is somebody threw up dinner. I wonder if that's an owl pellet, or if it's just a mouse or something that didn't quite make it. It looks like it's been chewed up. Owls will do that. I don't know. They have a lot of owls around here. Owls will eat mice and whatever, and then they like store the bone fragments in the fur, and then they hork it up and puke out these little pellets that look kind of like that. Oh, that. Do you hear that? Not the motorcycle, but the bird. That was an acorn woodpecker. Oh yeah, this is not bad. This is pretty. Let's rinse it off a little. Pretty. We always love seeing those signs. When I first got here, there was a sign posted in the front on the gate or the fence that said, "As only California will do, naturally occurring asbestos area." They want you to know that there's naturally occurring asbestos. Well, you know what? If you don't grind it up and snort it, you're not going to have a problem with it. But it's California. Oh, here's your 1.5 mile marker. It's funny, I didn't see the mile marker. I just saw the 1.25 miles. But there's the 1.5 miles. We'll see how accurate that is. Well, some of those people don't even have fences. They just have... That would be kind of weird not to have a fence. I still want a fence, even if it backed up to a creek, just for privacy, you know. People don't need to be gawking into my backyard. I just said hello to a really cute ridgeback, Ginger the ridgeback. Cute dog. She had a really nice ridge. Do you know ridgebacks? Rhodesian ridgebacks. I can't talk today for some reason, really bad. They're kind of a fawn color, and they have a ridge that goes down from like their middle of their neck, middle of their back, and all the way down their back. Well, most of the way down their back. It looks like their fur is backwards, and so it looks like they're mad, you know? It looks like their fur's up on end, but they're not. Well, they could be, but not because of that. So this is getting pretty and shady back here, so let's go see. So yeah, we passed. You hear that red-shouldered hawk? It just went squawking by. Back there a ways, that's the red-shouldered hawk. Back there a ways was the 1.5 mile marker that we passed, and Ginger the ridgeback. Look, it's a real Muddypaw again. I love it. Well, I just talked to some people passing through with their dog, and I asked them if this was a loop or an out and back, because I've seen both. And apparently it is an out and back unless you go down the road, on a road, and through some neighborhoods to get to the other end of the other side of the trail to come back this way. So I'll get down to, it ends at a park. It starts at a park and it ends at a park. So I'll get down to that park because I'm pretty close to it and turn around and go back. So when I go back, there won't be anything for you to see because you've seen it all, unless there's something more exciting. So these people that just passed me had a dog that reminded me of my sister's dog, Charlie. So anyway, I was looking at that sign over there. It's in somebody, it looks like it's in somebody's, I wonder if that's a park. It looks like it could be a park. So yeah, private property, no trespassing. Let's see that. This is the way we're going, but I just passed by this own little private trail, and it says up there at the top, you can't see it. It's tiny little writing on tiny little signs. It just says private property, no trespassing. So it's like, bummer deal. Well, you know, 1.5 miles one way and back, that's 3 miles, right? So, and that's the other thing that I could tell you. Like I said, the reason I do these is so you guys know what these places look like. Not that you can't look them up online, but you know. So here I am doing this. So you know, different types of trails, and I prefer dirt trails, but I try to like scatter in everything. I was coming down here to look at this. These guys built I'll get back to the trail thing in a second. I saw this. Somebody made a stairway there at one point in the past, because I think up there, see, right at the top of that bush, there's a sign, a big sign, like it's oh yeah, and there's a garbage can. So there's a park, apparently, over there, which is even more reason not to have no fence down there. But anyway, that's been there a while, that concrete. It's interesting. So yeah, what I was saying about trails, and the reason why I do this, not just to put you to sleep, but to help you, you know, if you decide you want to go down a certain trail, or not, you just want to see what it looks like. Because on YouTube and stuff, these kinds of trails aren't always listed because they're dinky little city community park trails. But, oh, we're getting close to the end of, oh, look at that neat rock. Look at that neat rock right there, how the way it does that. We just came from down there, and a mountain biker guy actually went by, and another lady walking her dog. But this is apparently the 1.75 mile mark, so I don't know where she's going. And if it's 1.75 miles, see there it says 1.75 miles. I don't quite know. What does it say? Rules for use of the park. Free mail, scan me for a free trail, yada, 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 or 1.0. Depends on what side of the, look, I started out at 1.0. Bing! Oh, I'm so tired. I did 1.75 miles just in that, 6 inches. Let's see here. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe this does go around. Is this a trail map by any chance? Oh, look, here we go. New York creep. New York creep. There's plenty of those. You are here. I am here. So here I am at Art Weisberg Park, and we had gone all the way, because this is where we parked the car, somewhere over here. So this is what the guy said. I guess you could go around. The thing I saw looked like it went like this, and then like down that way. But if that's the case, I'm not necessarily going to go walking along a road just to get back to the car. I can turn around and go back. But I do kind of want to go down here just for a ways, just to see, because this looks like it goes up to, well, this probably goes over the, oh, that's that park. Art who? Weisberg Park. Yeah. Kind of dead looking because it's, like I said, February, but okay. The bridge is moving again and it's just me. I get really self-conscious. Somebody's right there in the bushes is somebody's basketball. I was looking at that branch that fell down and kind of wrapped itself around that other branch on that other tree. So let's go down to, well, you know what? Wait a second. Since we're here, what the heck, right? Let's go and see what this looks like over here. This parking lot for Art Weisberg Park. I just want to see what's going on down here. Yeah, this is a parking lot. Parking lot, basketball courts, yada yada. And a neighborhood with more houses. Okay. So much for that. Okay, let's just go down here and see, you know, down to around the corner a little bit and see the shack in the back. That's one house. What I was saying before I got so rudely interrupted by me was that, you know, I do these videos not just to help you sleep, but to show you trails or parks or whatever that might be in your area that you could go visit for a picnic or whatever, go for a little walk, stroll. These aren't strenuous hikes by any means, but if you're interested in going out, getting some exercise, some of these places, like I said, aren't always on YouTube because they're tiny little community parks and things like that. So who does videos of those, right? Me. This is where I came out on to another park and the estates at Fairchild Village. And here's that sign, naturally occurring asbestos area. So I'm opting not to go through the neighborhoods to get around to the other park. I'm just going to go back the way I came. So it'll be a 3-mile round trip, so that'll be okay. Which leads me to what I was going to tell you about trails. So the thing about how they measure trails, like if you look on those websites, like All Trails or whatever, you'll see, or you'll hear somebody say it was an out and back, or it was a point to point, or something like that. So an out and back trail, technically speaking, is measured from the starting point, you go out, you turn around, you come back. That's why it's called out and back, like this trail apparently is, which is a bummer. So, in theory, out and back trails, when they list the mileage for an out and back trail, in theory, it's supposed to be the measurement for out and back. So if it's 1.5 miles out, it's 1.5 miles back, so it's 3 miles round trip, in theory. But I have seen it listed other ways, as this trail is evident because it said it was 1.5 miles. Well, it is 1.5 miles if you just go out, but you don't come back. But I want to go back. So then there's a one called point to point. You start at one point and you finish at another point, and that's it. So that's usually kind of a trail that you take 2 cars. Take 2 cars, one person drives the car to one end, gets in that car, another car with somebody else, they drive to another point, and that's where they start the trail. And then they do the trail, get in that other car, drive back to the other car, and go their merry ways. That is a point to point. Then there's a loop, which is just what it sounds like. Even non-hikers can figure that one out. You start at one point, you go around in circles, and then poof, you finish at the same point. Kind of like races, you know, the starting and finishing some of those urban marathons and stuff. And then different trail types, like dirt was pretty obvious. Sometimes they call it natural. Sometimes it'll be gravel. Sometimes it'll be paved. Sometimes it'll be mixed. And then there's different widths, how wide the trail is. So you'll have like a single track trail. It's kind of narrow. This trail that we're on isn't necessarily what I'd call single track. Two people could walk side by side in most parts of it. Not all parts, but in most parts. And then there's technicality. It wasn't a very technical trail. Not a very technical trail is usually a paved trail. It's just flat, boring, paved trail. Technicality kind of refers to how much work you have to put into it. Is there a lot of rocks? Is there steep hills? Is it, extra work you have to do besides walking on a paved trail, a paved flat trail? So it's like up and down, steep, rocks, climbing, scrambling. Scrambling is like when you come to a patch of rock that you're not necessarily rock climbing, but you're kind of climbing over boulders and stuff. That would be considered scrambling. Then there's bushwhacking. Bushwhacking, yeah, we've done that. So bushwhacking is just what it sounds like. You might get to a trail that it's like, okay, this trail is overgrown, so you got to whack through the bushes to get to the other side of the trail, or if there is no trail, you make your own. Depends on where you are. Sometimes that's not allowed. And then there's something else, but I've forgotten what it was. Then there's flat out rock climbing. Not what I do, not my game, but that's just what it sounds like. Go out and climb rocks, hills, mountains, cliff faces, all that kind of adventurous stuff that I'm too soft to do. So there's your basic little rundown on trail types and things like that. I'm sure that I forgot something, but I'll let you know if I did. We are going back to the car. We're back at the mile and something. On this side it says a quarter mile, so I'm guessing that we're back to the 1.5 miles. So yeah, 1.5 miles will be to the car. If something exciting pops out at me, I'll get you out and show you. So hang tight, I'll be right back. I remembered something else besides the fact that I'm hot. I'm getting hot now. So much for that cool breeze that we had earlier. I've got too many layers on, I gotta strip down. So one thing I was gonna mention was sometimes you'll hear people talk about, their camelback. Camel, like the camel with the hump on its back, camelback. Oh, there's the hawk. He's sitting on a tree over there. I don't think you'd be able to see him, but he sure is pretty. Anyway, sidetracked. Squirrel. Camelback is basically, it's also called a hydration pack. Camelback is just a brand. But it's a hydration pack. It has a little hose thing. And then, I don't know if you can see that, but behind me I have a little, they call it a bladder, which is convenient because that's where the water goes, all too quickly sometimes. In there, full of water, and this little hose thing connects to it, and you just suck it out of there like a straw. Some people don't like it because it tastes like plastic, and it can. And in this instance, mine does today, because the little pack thing has been in the refrigerator for months because I haven't had to use it. So anyway, that's a hydration pack or a camelback pack. So, and then there's shoes, different types of shoes. If you want to go hiking, I mean, like on a trail that has rocks and stuff, it's always better to have thicker soles on your shoes. So if you can get hiking boots or hiking shoes, your feet will thank you. There's hiking boots that go up, above your ankle or to your ankle. hiking shoes or like regular shoes height, but they have more support, more tread for hiking. And then there's trail shoes and running shoes and yada yada shoes, thousands of kinds of shoes and supplies and stuff. But that was another little tidbit I thought of as I was getting hot walking back. I think I'm going to have to stop, take off this jacket, and cool down a little bit. It's not hot out here, but I'm hot. And I knew I would get hot, but you're hot enough, right? Woo woo. I couldn't handle it anymore, and I finally found a bench. So I stopped and took off my jacket. Whew, it was hot. One more thing I was going to say about these packs, or any pack, backpack, water pack, whatever you want to call it, any kind of pack. If you're going to go like any great length of distance, they make backpacks, higher end, expensive backpacks, which I don't have. But there's a difference in the way, in case you hadn't noticed, despite what you might see in the news, there is a difference between the way a male body is built and a female body. So where, if you were like to get a backpack to go backpacking, like overnight or something, or you're going to carry a lot of gear with you, they have the shoulder straps fit differently on male backpacks than they do on female backpacks, especially when it comes to like waist straps, the hip straps, because in case you hadn't noticed, women's hips are built a little different than men's. And, you know, hooking up those straps, and along with that, sometimes you'll see a chest strap across here. This one has one. This one has a chest strap, but you can't do it up because it gets a little obscene if you do. You want them to be adjustable, like they slide up and down instead of just being in one spot, so you have to strap it there regardless of what might be in the way. So keep that in mind if you're going to invest in a backpack, how it fits with stuff in it before you buy it. So if you get it off of Amazon or something, you might, test it out and then return it if you need to, because when you're hiking with a full backpack for a long time, up and down hills and stuff, your shoulders and your neck are going to hate you after an hour if it doesn't fit right, if it's not strapped right. And these chest straps and the waist straps, they work really well for what they're designed to do. It's just where they fit on a man or a woman. So keep that in mind when you're backpack shopping. If you want to go whole hog and join me for a hike sometime, I'll take you on a little trail like this to get you out and used to it. So yeah, there you go. Again, we're still walking back to the car. I think we're like at the mile mark or something like that. So here comes a bike. So I'm going to turn this off. Well, we made it back to the creek and the octopus tree. I really, really like this tree. It's just pretty. Seen a bunch of squirrels running around already. Oh, in fact, there's two of them right there chasing each other on this tree, as a matter of fact. Look at those squirrelies. Oh, it's a baby. It's a mama and her baby. I bet I won't be able to zoom in. Nope. Can you see him right there? There's a mama down below, and then there's a baby right above it. She's teaching him to scamper. Look, he got on her back. Carry me, Mom. I don't want to do this myself. Oh, they're so cute. Hi, guys. What you doing? Are you cute? And no, it's not a mating thing. It's a baby. So, it's so cute. Okay. I'll leave them in peace. Hi, little birdie. What you doing, little birdie? You gonna take off? You're pretty. Look at you. Aren't you pretty? Mr. Hawk just came and landed right there. Oh, you see him? I wish I had my binoculars, man. But yeah, that's cool. Wow, look at that tree. All those nodules on that tree. Uh-oh, somebody wants me. My phone is going off. Well, so I'm back to the beginning of the trail, and I'm almost to the car, so I guess that's about all for now. I hope you enjoyed this little weird side trip. It wasn't the trail I had planned to go on, but here we are. So anyway, it was pretty. You know, if you're in the area of El Dorado Hills, it's east of Folsom before you get to Placerville. Check it out. It's New York Creek Nature Reserve or something like that. But anyway, it's free if you can find the entrance. It has a really hokey entrance, so I'll send you a little link about it. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you later.